I'm on a quest to read every Star Wars novel ever written, because Hurricane Milton destroyed all of my other books. For October, I decided to listen to a very spooky audiobook of Star Wars Death Troopers by Joe Schreiber. This is a Legends novel set about a year before A New Hope, and it is about an Imperial prison barge being thrown into chaos after it rendezvous with a derelict, abandoned Star Destroyer and starts to find a mysterious plague working its way through the prison. That's the thorough plot description. The better way of putting it is, this is the zombie book. Yes, the year was the late 2000s, zombies were everywhere, and Star Wars was in its edgy and gritty phase. I'm looking at you, Cade Skywalker. You know, I do genuinely live in Florida, and it's way too hot for this. The spooky vibes are here. It's October, we're Halloween. I feel like I'm on Mustafar. Ugh, that's better. So they did a zombie book in Star Wars, and honestly, it's good. It's fun. On the surface, I don't like the core concept. I think it's tacky. I'm a bit more open to the way the new canon has been doing zombies, where it's just witches using their magic to reanimate dead corpses to do their bidding, whereas this is very typical Walking Dead, zombies who just want to eat flesh, biting you, transfers the virus, yada yada yada. It feels like the polar extreme of how we describe The Mandalorian as a Western, but like if someone in a literal pair of cowboy boots and a six-shooter showed up in it. People called Ahsoka a samurai show, but if a literal Sengoku-era samurai showed up in it, that would be kind of whack. So overall, I think it could have used just something a little bit more to make it more unique and Star Wars-y, as opposed to just The Walking Dead. That being said, this is about as well executed as I could hope that concept would be. Joe Schreiber is absolutely the perfect author to have done this book. His gruesome, visceral, hyper-gory writing style isn't necessarily my cup of tea, and whenever I get around to doing a video on Mall Lockdown, I'll talk about how I didn't care for it in that, but come on. Gory and visceral in a zombie book is like butter on toast. It's a perfect combination. He does a fantastic job capturing the horror and the bleak hopelessness of the situation, drawing out the suspense as the virus spreads. I especially admire how long he waited before dropping the big zombie reveal. The book really takes its time establishing the characters, their world, the circumstances they find themselves in, and letting you grow to know them so that then it can really coast on the spreading of this hyper-transmissive virus and let the horror of that sink in first before it finally pulls the big zombie ripcord and all hell breaks loose. Speaking of the characters, they were all very solid. The main leads are a pair of brothers who are inmates at the prison, the captain of the guard, as well as the prison doctor, and all of them were very pleasant characters to read from. In particular, I like the captain, Jareth Sartoris. While not the antagonist of the story, the zombies had that pretty well covered. He's a bit more of a villainous lead, and he has a very interesting journey in the book that was very entertaining. Now, people who've read Death Troopers will know that I'm leaving out two other people, who I won't get into because they're introduced fairly late in the book, and I try to avoid heavy spoilers in these videos, but if you've read it, you know who I'm talking about, and all I'll say about them is, I didn't like them. I don't like that they're here. I don't think that the book needed them. I think it would have been better if they were someone else. I don't know. If anyone cares, I'll make a second video elaborating on these two, but for now, I'll just leave it at they shouldn't have been there. That being said, their presence still isn't enough to bring this book down, and I was genuinely shocked at how much I enjoyed it, despite me not really being interested in the concept at all. I don't even really like zombies in general. I never watched The Walking Dead. But if you did, or if you like horror, or if you like your Star Wars dark and gritty and rated M for mature, then this is a great book to pick up, and I highly recommend it. 7 out of 10.